What's up, guys? How you doing this morning? I'm doing a recap on my 99 Dodge Durango rebuild, and since I've rebuilt the top end of the motor, I didn't really drive it that much because I had a truck I was driving, and then since I stopped driving that truck, I started driving my own vehicle more and more often. And I've came across some overheating issues, so I've did a few things to try to resolve the matter, and it didn't fix. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I'm doing, what I've done, and then if you're having the same similar problem after replacing these parts, then it could be one or two different things on your vehicle. I'm not sure, whatever kind of vehicle you have, but let's get into the video. So what I've done here, the car was overheating normally on hot days, and when I was running the air condition, and then I'd have to run a heater to keep the car cool enough to make it home. But what I did was, after rebuilding the top of the motor, I did not replace these parts. I kept them on there because it was doing fine. I actually drove the car like 100 miles one day, and as long as the car is moving, then the car stayed somewhat cool. So what I started with was I replaced the thermostat in the car. The 99 Durango has got the 5.9 360 Magnum in it. I replaced this, and that helped because the old one was stuck, closed, it would not open. I replaced that one, and then I was losing antifreeze. It's like the antifreeze kept going down, and what I did was I went and got the this thing here, the engine management. It's the what that is, the coolant temp sensor. I replaced that, and it helped a little bit, not much. And then a week later, I went and replaced the radiator cap, and that actually held pressure in the system, but the car was still overheating, and I have to drive usually about 16 to 20 miles anyway in one day. And when you're in that stop and go traffic stuff, the car doesn't like that. It runs warm. You got to roll your windows down, and sometimes run the heater even on 90-degree days. So I'll show you what I did here. So I decided to replace the water pump. When I took the water pump off, it looked like when they replaced it last time, they didn't clean all the gasket off. So what I did was I took and cleaned all the gasket off real good. And all these water jets, all these things was completely full of water deposits. It's like the gasket was leaking. Now I figured while I'm in here, I'm replacing the fan clutch too. And I'm gonna use the original radiator because I washed it out and it seems like it's fine. So I'll show you the old water pump that I took off. And here's the old water pump right here. You can see how the gasket failed, and it's all that grime there. You can see where the gasket failed on this one. So it wasn't holding pressure in the system, wasn't circulating the water correctly, and also I could actually turn this, and this right here won't move. decided to go ahead and just take care of that, and it looks old anyways, so I'm going to redo that. And basically the whole, I should have did it when I had the engine torn down, or when I was rebuilding the top end, but I didn't, and now I'm coming across this problem. So I'm going to replace this and my fan clutch, and we'll see what happens here. So here I've got my brand new water pump. I'm going to take and put that baby on. I got the new fan clutch. It's somewhat smaller than the original one that was on there, which doesn't really matter. It seems like technology is getting better and better by the day. And then I had to replace the hose from the water pump to the engine. And then I just have to cut it down a little bit, but all that should be fine. Cleaned everything up, cleaned that up real good. Got that. Got my cup of coffee. Well, yeah, I got all new parts. This setup right here costed me right around $170. So I'll start working on this, putting it back together, and go from there. But you know, all this work I'm doing to this car, it seems like this right here should fix my problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the water pump on first, and then I'm going to take and probably put the radiator back in it, because I got the radiator, got a lot of stuff cleaned up down there. I'm going to put the radiator back in it. Second, water pump first, radiator, and then probably fan shroud. Then I'm going to put the fan clutch on with the blade, with the fan, and then get everything put back together, and it should work. So let's get it done, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done with it. Alright, well, I got the water pump on. And then if anybody's wondering what this hose is, because if you don't know what it is, it's hard to find it, but it's the engine coolant bypass hose. And they're usually 15 to 20 bucks just for that little hose. But I got that back on, water pump on, the radiator's back in, the upper and lower training lines are reconnected. So, and the one thing holding the radiator in is the two legs on the bottom of the radiator, and then I have this bolt and this one right here. So that's so far. I'm going to take in, put the lower hose back on next, and then probably fan shroud, and then blade, fan blade, and fan clutch. So let's get that done. So this is where I've gotten so far. I've actually got the bracket back on, the pulley back on. I got the water pump hose right here. I believe that's for the heater core. That's back on. I actually bent that, but the O-ring they give you ain't worth 2 cents, so I got an O-ring assortment kit, replaced the O-ring, and I also use sealer. I put it on the back side of the water pump before I put my gasket on, so that way everything's nice and sealed up. And normally when I get all this back together, I will let it sit for a couple hours, let the sealer set before I add any antifreeze to the system. And yeah, I just got to put my AC compressor back on, my alternator back on, and yeah, let me get that all back together, and then I'll be right back. Well, I got her all back together here. Got the serpentine belt back on. Never forget how you took it off. And if you have one of these diagrams, it makes it easy. But got my battery post put back on. Everything's all tightened down. And you know, if you ever take things apart and you're not sure how they go back together, always take pictures so that way you don't forget, because you can always go back on your pictures to look and see how it goes. But there's on your water pump, on that pulley, there's holes. So when you put in your fan clutch back on, you can use the holes. Screwdriver, I use the crescent wrench. You can use a big old wrench and twist the fan clutch back on. But you know, it's pretty simple. You have to take a few things off. You got to take your AC compressor off, your alternator off. I took the radiator out of this one specifically just so I could wash it out, since I put a new water pump on it, so that way I'm not sucking trash through the new water pump. So yeah, and I'm just gonna let it sit for a couple hours before I put any antifreeze in it. Let the my sealant I used for the water pump and right here on that housing right down there, I put an O-ring and sealant. So what I'm going to do is just let everything cure for a while, and we'll see what happens. But if you've enjoyed this video and you want to see more, please hit that subscribe button, like button. That lets me know you care. And I'm almost to 1,000 subscribers, guys. Any subscriber helps, just so that way I can, you know, start getting monetized, I guess, and start making money doing these mechanical videos and stuff. But yeah, if you like the video, give it a smash, give it a like, and until next time, God bless you, God bless your family, and we'll see you on the next video.